crazy. Oh my Lord. Y'all just have no idea what just happened to me. I apologize. I was getting ready to crank it up, get in here and get going. And I had my tumbler, my turners going. And I looked and the one turner was going forward and backward, forward and backward, forward and backward. It would not stop. So I was like, all right. So I gave it the good old whack to see if I could get it to quit. And it kept going forward and backward. So I had to switch out turners real quick. My other one's back here. We won't even talk about that and overlook the mess behind me. But, so I had to switch out turners real quick, get everything turned around, clean the cup back up because I snatched it off the turner and it spilled some glitter. But I'm here. I hope y'all are doing well. It has, woo, look at me. I am looking crazy. It has been a long time, guys. I am so glad to be back with y'all. Got a couple people coming on. Not sure who they are. I see Laura Robertson is watching. So if anybody else is joining us, somebody send me a message. Say, hey, how's it going? I'm new. I've seen you before. Just so I kind of know who we got tonight. And I know kind of where to go, where to start. You know, I'm always going to give my little dissertation before we get going. But that way everybody has a good idea what's going on, okay? I see Samantha Chastain. Welcome, welcome. Somebody send me a message just real quick, just a quick hi, just so I know if the comments are working. So if y'all have any questions as we're going along, I can answer those, okay? I do try to look up. I talk way too much. I'm sure some of you already know that, but that way I can kind of answer and respond as I look up and see the questions. Hey, Miss Jennifer. All right, so far I got everybody. I got about 8 people watching. Jenny, will you send me a message? Just say hi. There you go. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, so I know my messages are working. Once we get to about 15, I go ahead and get started. These are available to go back and watch again later in time. If you look at your screen in the top left, if it says live, hey, Benita, glad to see you too. Oh, I see Miss Yvonne Thompson. Hello. I haven't been on in a long time, Miss Thomas. But I'm back, okay? So listen, guys, just so you know, if you haven't watched lives before, if you have, just so you know, these will be available to watch later. They'll be archived in this group. I also kind of forward them to YouTube. I'm not doing it to get rich. I just forward the exact same video you're watching now, and I put it on YouTube just so you can go back and watch it if you need to later at your convenience, okay? Hey, Taylor. If it's red in the top left corner and says live, you can ask questions. I'll respond. I do go back and try and answer questions after the lives. If I don't get to all of them, I'm seeing a glare, woo, so that I can make sure that I've got answers for everybody, okay? Hey, Miss Tess, I'm glad you're joining us. Girl, I'm going to probably learn from you too. I just try to tell everybody things I've learned along the way, okay? So for you, those of you who don't know, this group started many, many moons ago by Miss LaDonna White. She is the owner of Hero Glitter. That's why you see Hero Glitter at the end. We started out with a different name and we kind of regrouped and revamped. And it's been a long time since I've been on here. Hey, Miss Carla. Tried to do lives at least once a week before. Had some health stuff going on and family stuff going on. We all know how that goes. COVID, boy, it really strikes a licking, don't it? But we're back, okay? So I am an admin for the group. My name's Bridget Reese. You'll find me on the YouTube page as Bridget Reese. It's just that. Just nothing else. Just Bridget Reese. There's only a few videos up. Like I said, I'm not doing this to get rich. Also, I have my own page. It's Glitter Mountain Creations or Glitter Mountains Creations. I'm going to start getting back and being active in. One is a business page, just being honest. The other is another tutorial group that I'm going to try and get busy back in. I also help Miss Yvonne Perry on Mycomania for You. So if you have a chance, I'm going to be putting links after this video, just so you'll know some different places that I get some of my stuff. Doesn't mean you have to go there. I will tell you this, breaking news, there's about 11 of you here, so I do want to give this announcement. Miss LaDonna is having a sale just for 1 week only, starting tonight, 25% off of $25 or more. You can find her at hero-glitter.com. She has amazing stuff. We're actually going to use some of her stuff tonight, so you'll get to get a peek of that, okay? She set it up, and I think the code for that is Hero Sparkle. She did post it at the top of the page. So y'all take her page, go to her page and take a good look at it, okay? Miss Greta. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Hey, Zach. Love you, babe. Big forehead. If y'all see my son, Zach Hughes, Just know he's not being rude. He's my goofball. Okay. So, also, we're going to use some of Perry's stuff. She is with Micamania, the number 4, the letter U.com. She has a great sale going on. All of her stuff is 50% off till midnight, period. After midnight, you won't be able to get in on that sale. But Yvonne has a sale, 50% off everything. I think that excludes tumblers now. That's just her glitters, mica powders, things such as that, okay? I will list both of their websites as soon as the live is over. There's Miss LaDonna, guys. Everybody say hey. Miss you, LaDonna. Hope you're doing well and your family. All right, guys, so we're going to get started. We're actually going to run through 2 tumblers. The reason I'm going to do 2 is, one, I want to kind of go over easy, quick steps for people who are newbies, because you know I'm a sucker for our new people, okay? I got you, Zach. I talked to Jenny today, babe. I'm going to get to it tonight. I think she forwarded it to me. So the first tumbler is going to be a super easy tumbler. One basic color. I'm going to show you some different things you can do. Some ins and outs. Just how to get really started, okay, guys? That way, if you have any questions and you are new, shoot me a message here. If I look up and I see it, I'll answer it now while we're doing the live. If I see it after, I promise I'll respond to it in here and tag your name so you can get to it. If y'all have any questions, I'm usually available. You have to give me at least like a couple hours to respond, because between grandchildren and me having health issues, my husband having health issues, and my son having, I'm kind of all over the place, and I do babysit my grandchildren. It starts back Monday, so I'll have a 4-month-old and a 4-year-old, and then this summer's coming, so I'll have my 8-year-old and my 2-year-old twins, I hope. So there's a bunch more grandbabies. There's about, how many are there? Help me. 17 and 1 on the way, or 16 and 1 on the way. It's a lot. But anyway, all right, let's get going. So we're going to do 2 20-ounce tumblers, okay, guys? These are just Ozark Trail tumblers, I'm going to be honest. I order a lot of my tumblers either from Yvonne Perry at YND. I'll add that link also for you. You can also get to her page through the Micamania page. She has tumblers for sale. I get a lot of my tumblers from Stainless Steel Depot, just being honest. Get on their mailing list so you know when they're having free shipping, because I'm all about saving some money, okay? These are just Ozark Trails. I think one of them actually had a color on it, and I stripped it, because you know, if you're new, okay? Tess is saying, God bless you, I have 4 boys. I actually have 2 grown children. My husband has 3 grown children. So between the 2 of us, we have 5 boys. And all of them have kids. We got 1 with 5, 1 with 4, 1 with 2 and 1 on the way, 1 with 3 and 1 with 2. So we got a plethora. Just gonna be honest with you. Got a lot of babies in and out of the house. Okay. Thank you, LaDonna, for putting that tag up. I did tell them how to reach yours, and I told them I would post it later. But please put hero-glitter.com up for everybody. That would be your page. And remember, 25% off, $25. Okay. Now listen. If you are new, and I talk 90 miles an hour, and I apologize, so just say, Bridget, you got to slow down, because I don't understand a word you saying. But I promise I'm from the South. It is just natural, okay? But if you are new to the group, please make sure if you've gotten any misinformation, and I'm going to tell you from experience, I'm not telling you what to do. You do exactly what you've been doing if it's working. But if you are taking a tumbler, I'm trying to find something I got down here, okay? Just random. Just pulling this off the floor because I was going to do something with it. If you take this tumbler and you're not sanding it with some type of a sanding block, y'all, you can get them at Walmart, different sizes, Hobby Lobby, whatever. I use a block. You can use sandpaper. You can use whatever you want. But you really do need to prep these tumblers. When you hear people talk about prep, that means you're sanding this tumbler, stuffing it up really good. When you get done, you take it to the sink, warm water and Dawn dish soap, clean it up real good, let it dry. I usually, after that's done and I bring it in my room before I put it on a stand to base paint, I will clean it with alcohol. That's not a necessity for a step, but it is something that does help in case you've touched it and got fingerprints everywhere. Have you ever painted a cup and you got this cup with like a couple bubbles or this weird streak right here and it didn't take the paint? That's typically because of grease or sand or some type of particles on your hands, and the paint doesn't have anything to adhere to because you've blocked that. So just do yourself a favor. It takes a few seconds, or you can use I am so out of the loop. I'll think of it in a minute. If somebody can help me, jump in there. I was going to say final sand, but it's not that. You can prep these in different ways. You can use spray paint. There's some great products out there. They got Pop of Color on counterculture.com. There's different ways you can paint it, but if you're using a spray paint, just clean it real good with alcohol. So that's what I've done with this tumbler. I'm going to tilt you down just a little bit. I can still see your comments because remember, we're doing 2 tumblers. Let me know if that's in view pretty well. I'm going to pull these back just a hair. So I got plenty of room. You should be able to see that. 20-ounce tumbler. I sanded and prepped it. I washed it, cleaned it with alcohol, took it outside, spray painted it a base white. Now somebody's going to say, okay, Zach. Somebody's probably going to say, why white? Because this tumbler is actually going to be a green. It's going to be for, somebody mentioned they want to see a shamrock or a St. Patrick's Day tumbler, okay? So actually I've got 2 colors, and I'm going to tell you about them in a minute. They're going to be mixed together, so the cup's going to be covered in the same glitter top to bottom. I'm not using a chunky or a fine. It's going to be mixed together and put on this cup, just because I like playing with colors sometimes. Now, could I have painted this cup a bright green, a light green, a dark green? Absolutely. Probably would have helped me, but the reason I did this one white is I just wanted to show you 2 things when we get started, okay? Just starting up, have actually rotating mechanisms. What else do I need to get going? Tess, I will put a list up so you can see later, or I'll private message you and give you a list of good starter things that are very basic that you should have to get started, okay? You can add stuff along the way, or if you see me doing something, you're like, ooh, I really like that, because I buy a lot of gadgets and you don't have to have those. But I'll give you a basic list, okay? Hey, Kristen Sue. So, should I have painted it green? Don't have to. I could have painted it black. Could have done anything. If I painted it green, it would make these colors blend a whole lot nicer. The reason I left it white is I want you to see, if I don't add enough glitter or enough epoxy in certain areas, you're going to intentionally see the white cup underneath where I didn't either have enough epoxy, which I'll do for you so you can see the issue that you come across, and B, to see the coverage of these glitters. Now, some people are going to say, I bought Walmart glitters. Let me tell you, when I started out, I was buying Walmart glitters. I'm going to keep it real with you because it was the cheapest thing out there and I didn't know what I was doing. The reason I know that it didn't work for me, just saying personally, certain glitters are good for epoxy use. These glitters are prime glitters to use. You can use the Micromania Hero Glitter, Glitzology, Child's a Child. It doesn't matter who you use. Walmart glitters are good for maybe a solid coat, but I'll tell you where you run into a problem with Walmart glitters. Not saying they're bad. Hobby Lobby glitters. I've bought them myself, especially when there was a 40% off coupon. If you're using those glitters and you're doing, say, a chunky red on the bottom and a real pretty white on the top, fine glitter, you go to do your epoxy. You have actually sealed your glitter, okay? And you're going to do the epoxy and you're rubbing up. It's not so much that you're going to get the chunky up here. That will happen with any glitter. What happens is that red will sometimes bleed and you'll get like a pink tint swipe or a red tint swipe, just depends, because they bleed when they get wet with that epoxy. That's just some inside information. You try it for yourself and see if it works for you, okay? But just wanted to give you that. I'm going to show you how well these glitters from these companies seal and how well they cover. You only have to use like a coat. If you've ever had to go back after the epoxy method and do a Mod Podge to cover up some spots you missed, that's what you're going to be able to see with this cup, okay? So this is going to be our shamrock cup. Going to be setting it up for St. Patrick's Day, but I'm going to kind of add a little twist to it. It's going to have something that you can kind of carry along through the year. I haven't quite figured out what I'm going to put on it, but it's going to be something, because I got a little Irish blood in me about that much. That gives me that fiery tone. So it's going to be something you could use all year long, and it is going to be green glitter, but you can definitely associate it right now. Hey, Miss Savon, does the Walmart glitter not bleed? I can't explain it, guys. I have used this. They have a beautiful royal blue. Just keeping it real. I had royal blue and that disco ball silver. I know you know what I'm talking about if you bought Walmart glitter. And it was beautiful until I started rubbing it. And that blue went up into the silver and turned it streaky. And I made it work because what I did is I made a peekaboo. Okay, you can always make it work. But it kind of killed it for me on the cup because it didn't turn out the way you wanted it to. But hey, no harm, no foul. You learn from everything. And there might be things that y'all can tell me that you've learned that has helped you along the way. Y'all chime in at any time. This live is for everybody. It's not just for me to sit here and ramble, okay? So for this cup, I'm going to tell you what we're going to use in case some of you can't watch the whole time. I understand people have families. You're going to hear my dogs barking in the background. I've got the door shut. If you've ever watched me before, there's usually grandkids in my laps while we're doing cups and dogs, and it's chaotic here. But it's a home, okay? I'm in my spare bedroom that I turned into a craft room, and I can't show you what's behind me because I ain't been in here in about 6 months until earlier today, and I had a crisis. There's been a glitter explosion in here, so it's falling from the sky. So on the first cup, we're going to use some Mica Mania glitters. But on this cup, if you can see this, I'll talk about this in a minute. We're going to use some beautiful hero glitters on this one, okay? So let's talk about a few things. I'm looking to make sure I'm going to swipe this screen just to make sure every once in a while the messages will freeze. So you may see the phone bounce for a second. All right, so on the white cup that's intentionally white, should I have painted it a different color? Absolutely, you can. Let me tell you this too real quick. If you're doing mica powders, I'm going to show you what mica powders for the new people, okay? There's a lot of companies that deal in mica powders. I know that Miss LaDonna does not have mica powders, but Miss Yvonne does. If you've heard of them or you've seen them in stores or whatever, I'm just going to pull out. There went the turner I told you about. It needed to fall because if you could have seen what happened a while ago when it quit working, ooh, I was going to throw it anyway. Mica powders usually come in real small containers, okay? This one happens to be called Seafoam. This is not even as pretty as it is when you put it on a cup, just so y'all can see what these are. My favorite, Miss Yvonne knows, it's called Pink Sands. It looks purpley, but when you put it on, it's the prettiest pink shimmer you've ever seen. So I've got 2 of those. Don't tell nobody, but I got 2 Pink Sands. This is a bubble gum. I used to have pink hair. My breast cancer survivor, or well, I didn't have to have chemo or radiation, just keeping it real. I had the BRCA gene, check 2 gene, did it prophylactically, turned out I had breast cancer, and did the reconstruction. But anyway, love pink. That is bubblegum. This is an Aquaman. A lot of shimmer to the mica powders, okay? If you're using mica powders on a cup, no matter what size, you should always base paint your cup. Always. Please understand, and I'm telling you from experience, I wish I had pulled my cup down from over there, but I'm looking to see if I got another one close by I can grab. I usually keep samples right here of things I've done where I've messed up. But if you don't paint your base cup similar to one of the colors you're going to use on your cup, okay, yeah, that rolled down to me. This right here, it's going to turn white at the top and white at the bottom, only if that's the color of your cup. If you did black on your cup and you were doing mica powders on it, it's going to be black at the top and black at the bottom. Don't know why. Miss Yvonne maybe can tell us. Hey, hey, Alan Ray, you can tell us, Yvonne. I don't know why it happens, but it does. And I'm just keeping it real with you. I wish, I got my pajama pants on. I'm going to be honest with you guys. So I'm trying not to show you too much, but I was looking to see if I had a cup close by so I could show you. But I don't. So, well, just trust me. Do your base coat one color of your mica powder, okay? Let's see who we got. I see Lori. I know I haven't seen you in forever either. I hope everybody's doing good tonight, okay? So listen, we talked about this cup and what we're doing, why I painted it white, and these are the colors we're going to use. Now, this is a Mica Mania for you, okay? It's called Shamrock Shuffler. It's a really pretty chunky, but it's not that super big chunky. Can y'all see it does have fine mix in it? It's gorgeous. It's going to be really pretty. But she also has this called LimeWire. And somebody's going to say, why in the world are you fixing to do that? Hey, Miss Carmela, I haven't seen you or Susan in a long time. I hope y'all are doing good. I'm going to mix these 2 together. Reason being, I love this green, but I love this green. But I'm kind of wanting to play with them a little bit just to see what we got. And I mixed just a little bit earlier in here just to see, and I'm going to put it on paper. Here, I'll do it real quick so y'all can see what it looks like mixed. I'm dropping stuff everywhere. So this is the 2 mixed. And I want to get my flashlight So maybe it won't be too much, but can y'all see that? So pretty, so pretty. But listen, that real light green kind of takes in with the little almost gold looking pieces that are in this glitter. Is beautiful. So I had to play with it before I decided to do it, okay? We're going to mix those two glitters together. Let's see. I see Miss Debbie Floyd. How are you? Angie, welcome. Carolyn. Yes, ma'am. I see a lot of my old friends on here. I'm so excited. All right, so that's what we're doing here. In case you have to jump off, I'm just going to talk about this cup and we're going to get going. I promise. Also for this cup, I'm going to use Counterculture Fast Set. The reason I'm going to use a fast set is in case you haven't used a fast set epoxy. One, I'm going to show you how it kind of works. Things to look for, things to work on, things that might help you along the way. Just know that fast set epoxy sets up. You've got about 10 minutes tops, depending on the temperature in your room, to work with that stuff. After that, it's going to start getting hard. If you're doing alcohol inks, you have to work super fast because it gets to where it won't spin and you're not going to get the look that you're looking for. Okay? On this cup, which is going to be our our Hero Glitter Cup, I'm going to use an epoxy called ALE. You'll see it abbreviated a lot. It's called a little extra, and I'm going to show you the bottles later, but this is the ALE bottles, okay? This is a regular epoxy, plant-based, very natural, low smell, great product. Takes a little longer to set up than fast set, but it's a beautiful, beautiful shine. Not saying anything about Counterculture. They're just as amazing, but it is a fast set epoxy. So I want y'all to keep that in mind. If you're ordering epoxy, you're kind of new. Until you get a little bit more comfortable playing with things, just maybe wait on the fast set. Just kind of keep that in mind, okay? And we're going to be doing more lives along the way, and we'll experiment and play with stuff. The reason I'm going to do this one first is I'm going to set the epoxy to the side and let y'all... I like the light. It's my forehead shining, Zach Hughes. Oh, Lord, don't tell nobody. Got a big old forehead. But guess what? My son right there, Zach Hughes, he got a big old forehead, too. Just saying. All right, guys, let's get going. I'll tell you about the glitters and the little paint that looks so rough right here and the reason I did it when we get going. But just so you know, this cup's the Hero Glitter Cup with ALE epoxy. This is a Micromania cup, okay? And we're going to do this one with fast set. Y'all ready to get going? Okay. Now, somebody's probably going to say, I use Crystalac, or I use, I'm trying to think. Y'all, I have every kind of epoxy imaginable in this room. Seriously, I've tried everything because I'll be honest, when I first started learning, I had nobody to talk to. So I had to learn kind of by myself. I had a real good friend. Her daughter did cups, so I would ask her and burn her brain up. But then we're both in the same town and nobody was making cups. So you didn't want somebody to think you were a competition. Because trust me, I wasn't trying to compete. I just wanted to learn how to do something. I worked in the operating room for years, so this was something new for me, and I just wanted to learn. But I have used Counterculture, KS Resin, a little extra. I'm trying to think everything I've got. Amazing clear coat. Let me open this little cabinet. I'll tell you what else I got up here. Artistic resin. There is so much epoxy in this house, and I'll be honest, I bought just about all of it. But sometimes, you know, once in a blue moon, I might order a sample, just so you'll know. Sometimes Counterculture has a free sample you can get. You have to pay shipping, but it's no big deal. Hey, Miss Jessica, how you been doing? All right, guys, so this is going to be the Counterculture. Counterculture comes in many sizes, okay? You can get the free sample, which is like, I'm trying to think if I got those bottles out here, if I tossed them the other day. I don't see those. ALE also has sample bottles. They look like this. You pay shipping, you get them free. This is a two-part. I think the other one fell when the glitter explosion happened. But it's a part A and B also. Okay, they'll send you that for paying the shipping. I'm looking for epoxy that's safe to use inside. My work area is in the basement. This is me. I'm going to tell you, a lot of people already know this who have been watching, but I do want to share this with you. I always keep a window cracked, or I've got a little fan over here. I don't know if you can hear it. I got it on low because I'm having me a hot flash. But as long as you have some type of an exchange of air. If you have an air purifier you could put in the room with you, it's great. I have a rainbow vacuum cleaner that sometimes I'll bring in the room and just let it suck the bad stuff out of the room. I do have one lung. I operate, well, actually 1.5 lungs. I lost half of my lung at one point in time in my life. So I don't have a problem with the epoxies I use. So this ALE, like I said, is a plant-based. Please just get on their website when I put the links up when we're done and do your own research. There are some epoxies out there that I'm going to tell you. What happens with epoxy is part A probably doesn't smell bad. Part B doesn't smell bad. But when they go through that chemical reaction that they do, which causes the hardening, that's when you get your fumes. Okay? So smelling an epoxy, if somebody says, well, here, smell this. It's really not that bad. That may be the case. Because I've had some that I'm like, that smells great. I'm going to be honest. Excuse me. Amazing Clear Cast, I started out with because you could buy it at Hobby Lobby. I didn't know you could buy these things off of websites. I knew nothing about this craft. And it's a great epoxy, but I had no idea how strong the fumes were until I started using some of the other products, the really good products that are out there. So do your research. I'll send you a couple links to 2 places that I get mine, and I have very minimal smells, okay? Let's see who's on here. So I just want you to do that. I'll just do your research, okay? Our Artistry epoxy has no smell, and I use it in my basement. Thank you, Kayla and Lynn. I have used that. Is it the artist resin that you're talking about? I'm trying to think who puts that out. I think that's a counterculture product, but I have also used, trying to think, artistic resin, I think. Is that the company that does Final Sand? You might have to help me out, Kayla Lynn. Their epoxy is really good too. Just so y'all know. There's so many things out here, guys, that you're going to learn. So this is the counterculture. I usually buy the big jugs just because I go through so much epoxy and it's cheaper in the long run. I get on their mailing list, look for the same thing. They might have a 20% off. They might have a 10% off, you know, whatever. So always get on a mailing list because they'll send you an email when things are low, okay? Hey, Leslie. So this is the fast set. It says it on there. It's a part A and B. It's an equal 50-50, okay? You're going to use, if you're going to use X of A and X of B in equal parts, okay? I kind of pre-measured when the glitter explosion happened because I've got glitter everywhere and I didn't want to be up here fumbling in front of y'all. So they have a website. They sell turners, epoxy, paint, tons of stuff. All right. Maybe Kayla can put the link up there for y'all for that, okay? I'm not sure if I have it handy, but I do have the other ones. All I got to do is just kind of tap a couple letters and it pops up. Now, what I've done, and I'm going to tell you this, there are many, many, many lists out there that you can follow, okay? I do have some cheat lists that I started out with. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm removing a little epoxy from this cup just because I poured a little bit too much. For a 20-ounce tumbler, y'all are going to laugh when I say this, but I promise you I would not lead you astray. So let me just tell you something. For this size tumbler, this white one right here, some people are going to think I'm crazy, and some people will agree with me. I could use a total of 5 milliliters or 5 cc's. I'm a cc girl because it's medical in my brain. It's genetic now. It just doesn't change. You could do 2.5 of A and 2.5 of B, and it'd be more than enough for this tumbler if you're doing glitter, okay? The reason I say if you're doing glitter is because when you do glitter, you want minimal epoxy, lots of glitter. Minimal epoxy, lots of glitter. The reason I say that, and I couldn't say it 3 times fast, don't even ask me, but the more epoxy you have on this cup, the more glitter you're going to use. The reason I say that is I can do a spot that has way too much epoxy on it, and your glitter, when you put it on, is going to start to look wet, okay? If your glitter looks wet and you're done applying, hey, Miss Joyce, and you're done applying glitter, but you sit and watch it. I always watch my stuff for a few minutes. One, to make sure I don't have any bald spots, something falls off, looks a hot mess. Maybe I touched something as it's circling and I didn't realize it. I can fix it, okay? But if your glitter starts to look muddled or wet looking, and like say a little spot looks like a cow spot, okay? That means you had too much epoxy there and you need more glitter. Your cup needs to look exactly like this glitter does in the bottle when you know you're done. So that's why I say truly 5 milliliters of the 2 epoxies combined, 2.5 and 2.5, would be plenty enough to cover this cup and get glitter coverage, okay? You can put 10 on it. If you want to do 5 of A and 5 of B for equal of 10, you can do that. You're going to use a little more glitter. Just going to be honest. The main point is everything on your cup has to be wet. And if you've been doing this a while, y'all, this is probably repeat. But please know my heart is always in the newbies. Because like I said, I had nobody to teach me. And YouTube videos are great. But sometimes you got to watch 14 parts and it takes you 16 hours to learn how to apply glitter. So just understand why I'm trying to do that, okay? Hey, Miss Joyce. Yes, ma'am, we're doing a little better. You know, everybody has a crisis every now and then, but we're doing good. I appreciate you asking, okay? All right, guys, so what I have done, I've mixed entirely too much epoxy, okay? I haven't mixed it yet. So I'm putting 15 of A and 15 of B. And somebody's going, why in the world is she mixing 30 cc's of epoxy for something that's going to take 5? Reason being, A, I'm going to set a lot of this to the side in a cup. Because 1, I want to show you the heat reaction, the chemical reaction. And 2, I want to show you how fast it sets. Okay? So if you haven't used, would love to take in-person class and learn all of this stuff. Tasha, all you got to do is send me a message, girl. If you need some help or you get stumped or you have a question, I'm always available. You might have to, every once in a while, I'm on Johnny on it. And sometimes it takes me a little while to send a message back only because it's either grandbabies, my husband. I'm at a doctor appointment, bless his heart. He's at a doctor appointment with his feet. He's had foot surgery. We're looking at another one, but I'm usually busy. But I promise you, I don't like to leave people hanging. You just got to call me back. And I know my son's fixing to chime in, so I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, Zach Hughes. I might not ever be on time, but I have good intentions on trying to be there on time. All right, so that's enough said about that. So I know he's fixing to jump in here if he's still watching. All right, guys, there is Miss Kayla Lynn. She's letting y'all know about that artistry epoxy that she was telling y'all about earlier, okay? And if anybody has any questions or any input or things that you have found that work better, please chime in. Now, here's another thing I'm going to tell you. I got 15 and 15. As I'm mixing, I'm going to talk to you about some stuff. He's unloading. Good girl. Whip that man into shape. That's my daughter-in-law, guys. Jennifer, excuse me. She got him unloading the dishwasher. What? She got 2-year-old twins, though. She needs a little break. Plus a little 8-year-old, but he's precious. They're all precious. They were preemies. Y'all, I don't know how in the world these little babies, they're the toughest little things I've ever seen. They will fall down and go, ooh, and then get up and start running again with needing about 72 stitches when they have... I'm sorry, I got tickled. But anybody who has preemie babies, y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm just saying. Because, yeah, these little boys, they crazy. They little roughnecks. All right, so we're mixing this up. What I'm going to tell you. So you're going to hear, I heard you're supposed to mix epoxy slow so you don't get bubbles. Absolutely, that's the truth. I heard that you can put epoxy in a warm bowl of water to kind of reduce down on bubbles. Absolutely true. I've heard you can heat your epoxy up in a cup to reduce bubbles. Absolutely true. All these things are true. Let me tell you this. If y'all are working with glitter, think about this. Big bubbles are going to matter. Okay, because what big bubbles do is they rise to the surface, your glitter lifts up, then it creates a hole and you have no glitter there. So absolutely, bubbles are important to get rid of. So I'm going to show you a trick. Now somebody's going to freak out. Don't anybody freak out. This is the way I've been doing cups for years. Okay, I'm still not perfect. Don't get me wrong. But I mix my epoxy fast. The people from counterculture are going to freak out, but I'm going to explain something to you. I'm doing glitter, okay? These little super tiny micro bubbles do matter. I'm not saying that I do customers' cups short-handed, skip steps, or anything. What I'm saying is the little bubbles you're going to see me get out. You may create some very tiny micro bubbles, but when you put the glitter on it, those micro bubbles don't show. They will show on the final coat that you're putting on top of your glitter, okay? So as you're learning the process, and remember this is fast set, okay? This is going to be not workable in about 10 minutes, okay? So yes, I'm mixing fast. Yes, this stuff is super thick when you get going, okay? I usually mix this fast set until it looks like it's combined. Right now it looks like it has, let me see if I can get you to see it. Looks like it has ribbons in it, where you can actually see the difference in the texture. Hey, Miss Ashley. you can see the texture of the two separate epoxies and what they look like, okay? So I mix it pretty fast. I do not heat it in the cup because A, I'm using fast set, and if I use heat, it speeds up the process of the chemical reaction. But B, I'm using a plastic cup. I used to use wax cups like Dixie cups, but I was having a little bit of problem with some of the wax coming off of the cup I was mixing in, and I would see it in my cup later, so I don't do that anymore, okay? Another thing you're going to see me do, I'm going to put some white paper down. Some people don't do this. I will tell you about the white paper later. Some of you have already heard my story, but I'm going to tell you about that later just in case you don't know. And if you're new, you may not know this because I was so freaking excited to do my first cup. I forgot to put paper down to catch my glitter, and I bet I lost $30. $30 worth of glitter because I'm just shaking it, and I look down and I got 42 colors of glitter mixed on my table, and I'm like, I think I was supposed to save that somehow. So I'm going to go ahead and put that down because sometimes when I'm talking I forget. I don't want to be wasting this. Hey, Miss Laura, I haven't seen you in a long time either. Ashley, I said hey to you. All right, guys, so this is that fast set, okay? Does have micro bubbles in it. You will be able to see it once I get it on the cup, okay? But you'll see what I'm going to do prior to applying any glitter, okay? This cup's visible, I think, to everyone. I think it's good. All right, so you're going to see me. Now, remember, everybody puts their epoxy on differently. Do not feel like there is a certain way. Some people wipe it on their finger, rub it on. I do a super thin line, and hopefully y'all can see this. I'll do it with this hand, see if you can see it a little better. I just do a thin line up and down. Everybody, like I said, does it differently. Depending on the speed of your turner, you know, you might want to do it, you know, side to side or whatever. This just works for me. But there is no right or wrong way. Please don't let anybody sway you from what works for you. I'll be honest, I'm left-handed, so I have a super hard time doing a cup facing me. But the people who can, they amaze me. Okay? I missed you too, Laura. I hope you're doing good. Now, my thing about cups is I love to do the bottom of my cups. Some people says, well, I don't even do the bottom. I take the top and the bottom. I did too when I first started, okay? The reason I don't anymore is because, you know, the prices have gone up on some of these cups just because of our costs, okay? So I felt like I needed to learn how to do a cup from top to bottom because these people are paying for it. And I just felt like I wasn't giving them everything they paid for, okay? So I'm always funny. I'm like, you know, love on the bottom of your cups. Make sure you got good coverage on the bottom of your cups. Because when they turn a cup up, if they're not a straw user, people are going to see your artwork on the bottom too. Okay? Hey, Tammy. How are you, my dear? All right, guys. So I'm just putting this epoxy on. I had to switch out my turner, so I'm making sure it's just going to stay on there. So, guys, this, I don't know if you can see how much is left. I mean, there's a ton. I have not used that much epoxy. The more you work with counterculture and rub it, because it gets warm, the easier it spreads. But also remember, heat is going to speed up the reaction time or chemical reaction time. So the more you play with it, the less working time you have, okay? So what I do is I make sure it feels like I have everything covered. And I'm having to play with this turner and hold it a little bit. This is not my best turner. But like I said, the only way to get on here in time was to hurry up, because my turner went out at, I think it was actually 7:29 it went out. I was getting ready to put the phone up there and it just started flipping. So this looks pretty good. What I'm going to do as my test, everybody can do this differently. I just set my epoxy to the side. I'm going to put it in the back. I'm going to pop a stick. I'm going to put a stick in there because I'm going to show you something in a little bit, okay? Now, I'm going to use my heat gun. It does get loud. Hopefully, you can hear me over it. I'm going to hit it with a little heat, not concentrating on one spot in particular. All I'm doing is just trying to make sure if there are micro bubbles, that they do pop, because if the bubbles get big, they will lift your glitter. And then you'll wind up with this hole that you got to somehow fix with Mod Podge or something to make sure your cup's all covered. Or I've seen some people just go and put a decal over it. But I can't do that. So this will also just kind of make it really warm. It's also going to let you know if you have too thin a coverage somewhere before you start doing your epoxy. So you don't have to go back and add a touch of epoxy here or there to cover a spot that maybe got dry. Okay? So keep that in mind. Like right here, I've got just like a tiny, tiny spot. But since I still have my glove on, I can just kind of rub over that. And now right here I'm getting it's not dry, but it's kind of thin. Okay, so that's all I'm doing, guys. And then I'm just going to watch it for a second. Make sure I don't see any spots who have kind of developed. If you know what I'm talking about, it'll look like it's definitely been rubbed there, but it'll kind of produce a hole. Okay, so this is looking really good. I'm going to go ahead and remove these. Now, I told you we were going to use 2 glitters. Okay, these are both Micromania glitters. I'll move a few things out of the way. I keep knocking one of my bottles in the trash can. So these are Shamrock Shuffler and Lime Wire. I will take pictures of them at the end and post them at the top. Hey, Miss Tammy. Hey, Regina. Hey, Tammy. There's another Tammy. Rouse. Hope y'all are doing good. Hey, Miss Kareen. Give my Lennon hugs. Hope y'all are doing good. Miss Lydia, kisses. I meant to tell Jenny that too. If she's still on here, you better give them babies some kisses for me. So, y'all, I'm just going to mix up some because I really like this combination. Karina's my other daughter-in-law, just so y'all know. I got family, like they don't know I talk enough already, but bless their hearts, they still love me enough they come on here to watch my goofy self. Okay, so all this is doing, I've added these 2. So I've got kind of a chunky for those starting late, and I've got a super fine, but it's a lot brighter green. I'm going to show you what this looks like on this cup. It's so pretty. Hey, Miss Regina. Hope y'all are doing good. If I didn't call your name a while ago, I'm sorry. So, guys, I'm going to show you this. Y'all ready? So, always put you some paper down, okay? Reason being so you can catch your glitter so you don't have any waste. I'm just going to do one last check. Make sure nothing looks like it's a mess. This is going all over my cup. You can do it however you want. You want to start at the top, start at the bottom, however you see fit, okay? I do see a little issue I got going right here. I had a bubble pop like we were talking about right there, and right there, and right here. Now, the cup's still warm enough that this will blend out, okay? If you don't like it, throw you a glove on. Okay, and I'm going to smear that a little bit because my working time is starting to run, okay? This right here, somebody's going to say, oh my God, I know she's making indentions. Believe it or not, guys, with this stuff still being warm, after about 2 rotations, it's going to smooth itself out, okay? All right, here we go. We're going to start with some glitter, and let's let you see how pretty these 2 mixes are. I go about midways and come down. Now remember, if you were here in the beginning, I told you I painted this cup white for 2 reasons. One, I wanted you to see the coverage, because if I make a mistake or I have an error or there's not epoxy somewhere on this cup that I'm sprinkling glitter, it's going to show that white cup. Okay. 2 was to also let you see how good a coverage these glitters are. Okay. I usually go over it twice before I move up, and then I'll focus on the bottom and the bottom rim when I get done with the rest of the cup. Okay, but I always try to hit it twice, and then we'll look and see if I've missed some spots. You're going to see them. They're going to be very obvious, okay, because I use white paint. So I'm going to pull this out. I made my working space just a little bit too narrow tonight because I had the Turner crisis, just going to be honest with you. I may have to mix more of this, but at least we can kind of see where we're going. And like I said, there's no right or wrong on how you want to do this. If your whole cup is going to be the same glitter, guys, there's no right or wrong. If you're going to do the chunky at the bottom and the fine at the top, of course, there's different ways that you would do that, and everybody does it different. I personally start out with my fine glitter, and then I do my chunky and let it spread to the top, if that makes sense. But that's just me. Not everybody does it that way. So everybody's going to do it different. Now, I told you I was probably going to have to mix some. Can you see the white? I hope y'all can. Through just in here. Now, down here it's covered pretty well, but I can still see the white paint through there. So I'm definitely going to have to mix just a little bit more. Not much. And I didn't use that much. That's another thing. So sometimes you might go through a half a bottle of Walmart glitter or Hobby Lobby glitter. With these, I have used very minimal. I'm going to show you when I get done exactly what's left. I will say this shamrock green by itself, I have used before on 2 other cups. So there is a little bit gone out of that, but not a lot, just being honest. So I'm going to go up here. I'll look back up in a second because I always try and sling this stuff all over my turner up here. I want to try and keep it on the paper. And then I promise I'll look up and see what we got going on. So I do have a lot of spots that still need coverage. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put this back in the cup. I'm going to hit it again. And then I'm going to hit the bottom. And if I need to mix more, I definitely will. Okay, let's see if anybody's saying anything. My comments got quiet. Either I've lost some people or everybody just got quiet. I'm going to slide this one more time. The phone's going to... There we go. I just want to make sure every once in a while you'll get a freeze. Then y'all will have like 20 comments up there and I don't know it. So every once in a while I'll slide it. Okay. So this green is a very vivid bright green. I just mixed it with a little of that lime green color. For anybody who just joined us, I mixed them together because I love the bright green. But I am going to use this cup year round. Not just for St. Patrick's Day. So if you do a little different twist on your saying, I'm a little Irish and I'm a little crazy. I don't know. I haven't come up with my saying yet, but you do something a little different. You can use these cups year round. So I didn't want it to be just the green unless I was focusing on something in particular. Okay. This is not a customer's cup. This hasn't been ordered. This is just something I'm kind of throwing together for the live because somebody had asked about a St. Patrick's Day cup. Okay. Now, so I'm about covered. I do have to work on the bottom because I always tell y'all to love the bottom of your cups. I'm just looking to make sure I haven't missed any big spots. Like I said, that white underneath will really bring those out. You may see something coming around that I don't see because I'm too busy talking and watching my table. But just remember, you don't have long with this fast set. Let me see. Kayla, isn't this pretty green? These are beautiful. Everybody has green. I mean, green is just a pretty color if you're a green person. But these two mixed together, that lime green brings out the pop in these like little, the big pieces that have like that yellow color to it. I just thought it was so pretty. So I'm going to hit this cup one more time and I'm going to do the bottom. We're going to move to the next cup. Okay, but I will take a look. Isn't that pretty? I mean, honestly. Happy Friday. Hey, Miss Amanda. Hey, Amy. Yeah, this green is really pretty, y'all. Y'all need to hook her. She has 50% off everything until midnight. So do not miss out on this sale. Great prices. They're all 2-ounce shakers. If you're buying glitter, just keep that in mind. Certain things, mica powders, of course, are different weights. So don't judge by that, okay? But her glitters mostly are 2-ounce glitters. Help me, somebody. If somebody's still in here, somebody has an option to buy 1 ounce, but I don't think that's Miss Yvonne. I think that's somebody else, and I apologize for that. I should know these things right off the bat. But, all right, so that's looking pretty good. I will show you one more trick if you're working with any kind of chunky. I told you I was going to work on the bottom. Some people have different ways. Oh, somebody put green glitter on their nails. Girl, I don't know why I'm a sucker for red. And don't even ask one of my daughter-in-laws because she'll tell you she needs to, that I need to get off the red. But I'm just a red girl. But I love to see other people's nails because I get jealous and envious. But then I'm an extrovert. I had pink hair at one time. So it's not like I'm scared of it. I don't know. I think you get so used to routine. I'm ready. Oh, there you go, April. There you go. That's my sister, y'all. My sister. She like me and her grew up watching the Muppets. I don't know about y'all, but it was all about some Miss Piggy and Kermit the Frog. I love some Miss Piggy. I can relate to her. I can relate to her so well. But that would be a good one. I'm red there with you. That's right, Carmela. I don't know what it is. It's just always been red. But I'm telling you, I admire these people who can do these colors. I just see a few spots, guys. I'm just hitting it one more time. And like I said, I'm about out of time, and I'll show you how I know that this is not going to be, I'm going to pat it a little bit just because there's a few spots that just keep rolling off. And then I'm going to sprinkle some more. When this live is off, I will send you a picture of what the bottom looks like. There's different ways you can do it. I just play with it. I kind of shake it onto the bottom. I work with the paper a lot. I just fold it up and tap it until I get my coverage. Remember, the rim has to be covered really well. If it doesn't cover well, you can do one of two things. If you are new, you can do another coat of epoxy. Epoxy is very expensive, so I don't. If it ever did not cover for some reason or another, I would Mod Podge it on the bottom just because that's just me, okay? And it does save you some money because epoxy is expensive, guys, okay? Somebody else said they love them up. Actually, Animal was my favorite because I can totally relate to him. Ain't that right, April? I can totally relate. But me and my sister, now she is 40, how old am I? I'll be 53 in July, so my sister is, help me, 47. She'll be 48 in August. But we would die as little kids. Like, there's 5 years difference. But the chef on the Muppets, y'all, he had the real hands. If y'all know who I'm talking about, these are hilarious. That was probably, I laughed harder at that guy than anything. All right, so, hey, Miss Angela, how are you? All right, guys, so this is our green tumbler. Last and final thing you're going to do to this, you can do it any way you want. You can use a glove. You can use, some people use a stick, popsicle stick. You can do it however you want. This is me, okay? So I have hardly anything on my fingers. I go through personally and just pat it down real gently, because this chunky glitter, if you're new, you won't know what I'm talking about. If you've been doing this a while, you know. Chunky glitter is a devil after it dries and you put your next coat of epoxy on it, because you have to sand all that down, which is not lying, okay? So I always like to pat it down the best you can. You're always going to get that one piece that pops up. You've got to sand or do whatever you have to do to it, okay? But I do have another little trick that I do after this is dry, and do your rim and your bottom the same way, only because it's more difficult to sand there without causing a problem later. But I will go through, and I'll show you why I do my fingers. Somebody's going to say, I can't believe she's using her hands. Why isn't she using something to keep her fingerprints off of it? But I also do this for a reason. I'm going to show you why. Let me get around here. So, I got this much on my hands when I'm done. Now, this signifies two things. Yeah, of course, my cup must be sticky because I got glitter on my hands. But the other thing is, that lets me know that not only is it wet, but my fingers got epoxy on it, which means I'm not covered everywhere. Couldn't be, because my fingers wouldn't have got sticky enough if my glitter was dry. Okay? So everybody's going to be different. I already know I'm not covered completely, but for sake of time, it's covered enough for me for right now so that we can move on to the next cup, and you can see that. Yep, LaDonna is saying you can do whatever. Tammy also, she's another admin for the group, so she uses her hands. She also helps me on my page, so you can do it however you want. But that did become useful to me. It lets me know. I do see a couple spots here that are a little thin with the glitter because I basically ran out. My cup runneth empty. That's about all I had left. But I'm going to show you the epoxy, and we'll get going on the Hero Glitter Cup, okay? So, now is when you get a little bit of a fume. Now, you're not going to sit over top of a cup and huff it, obviously. When any epoxy goes through its chemical reaction, it gets hot, gets warm, okay? That's when you know we're running out of time, okay? Tammy, I have heard that. I've heard that wax paper works really good. Somebody told me about that too, which I thought was a super cool idea. So I'm going to show you. This is not completely set, but you see how long I've been talking and running my mouth and how long I worked with this cup. It's still not covered, so it may still hold more glitter if I was going to play with it, but I'm going to show you. And I'll tell you another little story. Some of y'all already know this story. But, so, this is Facet. Now, if you're doing alcohol inks and you're trying to get a good swirl, you obviously know that that is not swirling anymore. Can you see how slow it's dripping? So, this is pretty much done. You're not working with this anymore if you're doing, depends on how you're using your micropowders. Micropowders or alcohol inks, you're done. Now, it's super hot also. When I first started using Facet, not really first, but I had set it to the side. And if you watch it really close, I wish I could keep it in view without spilling it. If you watch it really close, you can start to see a little smoke. Now, I'm not trying to scare y'all. It does not catch on fire. It doesn't combust. But I was doing a live, and I used to do them in my kitchen. Y'all, I had a rabbit in the kitchen, grandkids running around. It was a mess. Well, out of the corner of my eye, over here where the freezer is, I could see smoke. And I'm trying to remain calm, cool, and collected for everybody who's watching the live. And I'm like, I can obviously see it. And I knew I smelled something hot. And I looked at my granddaughter and I said, Bella, could you get me a cup of water? And she's like, huh? And she's looking at it too. And I knew she's fixing to tell it. But she got me the water, and I just kindly picked the cup up and I dropped it in the cup of water. Well, before, I used to always just toss it behind me because I'm working in the kitchen. I'd throw it in the trash. So, No, it didn't catch anything on fire. No, it's not dangerous in that respect. But when you're not prepared for it and you see it, and I had to get tickled later. I got super tickled because I just knew I was trying to figure out how I was going to get all these grandbabies, the rabbit, the dogs, the bird, all these animals. Y'all, I've got tons of animals, and I was trying to figure out how I was going to get them out of the house. But anyway, that was my story. Okay, so we're going to switch gears. Fast story. So other things, just so you'll know, Micomania, last time I'm going to kind of announce them, 50% off on everything. She has everything from man glitters, which are like paint chips, okay? She's got the best man. We got the pink camo kind. She has buck mousse, which is more of a green, like a military. She's got something called fish scales, which is beautiful. Y'all, go take a look at her page. I'll put her link up later, okay? I got a whole box of her stuff right here that I still got to put up on my wall over here. I got a ton over there. Micomania for you. I'll list the link. 50% off only till midnight. Okay. Now we're gonna get on with it. We are done with this cup. I'm gonna kind of push it back out of the way so y'all can see this one. This is also a 20-ounce Ozark tumbler. Now I sprayed this one a little different for a reason. Wanted to kind of move up a notch. So those people who've been doing this a while, and you probably already know this too because you've been working with them for a while. You can spray this one color. You can spray it as an ombre look. I am not the perfect painter. You can tell this is not a straight line, but it's going to serve its purpose, okay? I do the bottom of my cup, so nothing here is taped, okay? Has to watch with me. Ain't nothing wrong with that, Miss Tammy. I had the 4-month-old. Well, is she 4 months yet? Lord. Not quite 4 months. She's almost 4 months. I had that one in the 4-year-old. He has a birthday this month. He'll be 5. They were here for about an hour. So her mom's going back to work. So I'll be watching them. So she had to go talk to her boss. But anyway, I always have grandchildren. I think right now my husband, I can't see outside. But he's probably in the living room wondering what I'm in here, who I'm in here talking to. Because he knows I'm crazy. He probably thinks I'm in here lost my mind. But anyway, guys, 20-ounce Ozark tumbler. Sanded, prepped, washed, dried, alcohol. Base painted. This was like a prickly pear, something really a little bit different kind of pink. I saw your pictures too, Miss Tammy, just so you know. The top was like a candy pink or cotton candy pink or something. It's really pretty. But then, because I like the paint colors, I was like, all right, now what am I going to do? So I had to go through all Miss LaDonna's stuff. Now, we won't talk about the 200 bottles on the wall over here that my husband, oh, he would die if he knew. He already knows, really. But still, we'll just go there. But like, she has, y'all, she has these purples, and I was going to put them together. Are those not beautiful? Woo! I almost did the purple, but I have a pink cup, and everybody knows I like pink. So then I start going through all her stuff, and I'm like, oh, look at this one. This is Jean. It's not really pink, but it's like a purple pink. But, just saying, very pretty. Now, Hero Glitter, just going to tell you. Hero-mid-glitter.com. 25% off, $25 or more. Code word is Hero Sparkle, okay? Hit her up, all right? Now, she also has this. It's called Girl Power. Now, it might be kind of hard to see. This is a fine glitter. But when you put it up beside a pink or purple, it brings out a lot of those hues, okay? Very, very, very pretty, okay? Hey, Miss Candy, I'm glad you're joining us. Honey, we were all new at some point in time, and if you have any questions, you ask. No question is silly, because trust me, I didn't know a thing when I started this, and that's what I'm here for, okay? But she also has this. It's called Ace. It's an opal. Does have some blue tint to it, but y'all, it has a lot of pink. When you put it up beside that, you can start to see it. Now, that does give you two chunkies, so I kind of went, maybe not. But I'm just showing you some of her Hero Glitter stuff. We won't talk about the order I just got, along with all that over there. But she has some beautiful stuff, y'all. This is Gem, just so you see. It's like a, I can't even explain it. It's like almost a mauve, but it's beautiful. Look at this blue. We were talking about blue from Walmart. Does not hold a stick to this stuff. Beautiful. It's called Stick. I call it that. I don't really know how to pronounce it. She names all her stuff after superheroes. We got Fury, which is a beautiful black. It's not straight black because it does have some color to it, like some silver to it. Y'all, there's just beautiful colors. A lot of colors that are super bright. We got Angel. We got Claws. Some pretty, pretty colors, okay? Y'all please give her a look. At least go to her page, get a good eye for what she's got. Now listen, I'm loving these two together. I don't know why. And we could do an ombre look with these two. Okay. This glitter right here, Lori, she's asking what brand. This is Hero Glitter. LaDonna has listed it below. She's actually the creator of this page and also the owner of Hero Glitter. The glitter that was on the green cup that you may or may not be able to see is Mica Mania for You. And she has other colors along with mica powders. Both of these companies, and I know both of these women, I have not met them personally, but I feel like they are my sisters from another mother. Super amazing women. If you only knew both of their stories, you would understand why I love them so much. So, they know I got them if they need me. I'm not too far from LaDonna, I don't think. Now, poor Miss Yvonne, she is up there near my kin people. But I'm not too far from Miss Yvonne, I don't think. And I will tell you this, I have to be honest, LaDonna, don't be mad. Because this Girl Power I've used on a lot of cups, and it's beautiful. Because it does have those little, like, pink spots to it. But I got to thinking about this. And don't be upset with me, please. Because I had to think about it. They have... Yvonne has something called UV glitters, and I'm waiting for Miss LaDonna to get some. So UV glitter, if you have not had experience with it, it's just like a white glitter, but not like this. This has some specks in it and makes it really pretty to mix with these color combos. This is more just like a white with a little bit of sparkle to it. But UV glitter means if you expose it to UV light, which is sunlight, okay, that's what this lamp does. It changes color. So she has UV pink, purple, different other colors. But this is, when you're in the sun, will look like that. Now, of course, I can shake it away and it kind of swirls around in the thing. But again, you expose it to UV light and it changes colors. Okay? Only to UV light, not temperature, not touching. Okay? So I had thought about using this on the top. But when you look at that color to that, it didn't really do. It looks like it's close, guys, but this looks more of a purple. I don't know if you can see that from here. Can anybody see that? Because this will fade soon. It looks like it's close, but it didn't look as good as this. So I'm going to do this one. It is going to be white, and it is on a pink base, but I'm going to show you why, okay? We're going to work through this. These are just some little tricks that you'll learn along the way. But that is a mica product, just so you'll know, okay? So this will go on at the bottom, and this is going on at the top. Everybody does these differently. Some people take their stick off, their turner. They turn it and shake it. Some people do it the opposite, do the chunky and then shake the white. However you see this. Hey, Miss Karen, how are you? We're doing good. We're doing good. We're doing better. We're still going through our stuff. I have surgery in about a week and a half, but I won't be gone but about 2 or 3 days. And then my husband's having some more surgery, but we're getting there. You know what? When you get old, it just happens. It's no big deal. But I had this all done, had them removed and had them fixed and had them reconstructed, and I make jokes out of it because they used to be belly warmers, so it wasn't like I lost anything really in the beginning. But now you kind of look at them later and they're in the shape of a box. So you kind of want them to look more familiar. Maybe you could fit them in a bra. So we're going to get that fixed. Okay. Hey, Miss Brenda. Hey, Joyce. All right. So here we go, guys. We're going to get this going. And y'all have to understand, please know, if I ever offend anybody, I don't mean it that way. I make jokes about myself more than anybody. But I find a lot of things in life just humorous. If it's sad or it's just super hard for us to understand as human beings, if you somehow, now some things just aren't funny, I get that. But if it's something that you just, it is what it is, it turned out the way it did, and make the best of it, life seems a whole lot better. So I'll make a lot of jokes really to myself, okay? So please don't take offense, anybody. I'm not picking fun. Okay, I'm not, so just don't take me wrong. All right, so for this cup, you see where I did my little pretend job of ombre painting. Just to give you an idea, really, 2 things. We did this in white so you can see the coverage it gets. You can also see it peek through, a lot of different reasons. This one, we're going to do the darker on the bottom, of course, the white on this. But you're going to see this color pink come through, not as a color underneath where I've missed spots, but it kind of changes the tone of this. It definitely changes the tone of any of your opal glitters. Okay, that's what I call them. I don't know what everybody calls them, but any of your opal glitters and you have a color under it, it's going to kind of take that color. So just so you know that, okay? Of course, I did not open my epoxy before we got started. So here we go. Now on this cup, we're going to use a little extra, guys. A little extra is a regular epoxy. It is a plant-based epoxy. Minimal smell. Great product. Very reasonable. She has a lot of sales. You can go to her Facebook page and join up to get notifications. She has contests sometimes. You can submit some of your tumblers for these contests and win great prizes. She also has a mailing page if you want to become a part of that, so you can get certain discounts that come through. Amazing people. Amazing. So if you haven't at least tried their product, please get online. At least take a look at their stuff, see how much stuff is. And they do have a sample of their epoxy that you can get. It's this size, part A and B. You pay shipping, you get this for free. I mean, you're not going to get anything in this world for free, because trust me, it takes $5 a gallon to fill up my husband's diesel truck. And we won't even talk about how far that gets us, because everybody knows already, right? So anything for free nowadays is pretty amazing. It gives you an opportunity to use it. This thing will make you at least, I'd say from start to finish, I can get by with about 3 cups finished, 3 cups total finished, okay? I'm trying to look up here. You're my age. You're still young. Girl, I feel it. I used to tell everybody I felt like fine wine. And my husband said it's like a bunch of sour grapes. But he was being comical again. That's his sense of humor. But no, I'm going to tell you. Somebody asked me one time, would you go back and change anything if you could? Now, every once in a while you look at your life and you go, ooh, I should have done that a little different. Or where was my brain when that was going on? Because I was not thinking. But I'm going to be honest. Everything we go through, people, it just molds you into who you are. Whether it was good, bad, or ugly. Oh, let's try that again. All right. We're going to leave that there. I'll get that in a minute. We're going to try it again. I got a big spot on the floor. It'll be sticky. Whether it's good, bad, or ugly, non-mentionable, all of that, guys, it molds you into who you are. You know, there's certain things that some people say, well, Lord, I hope nobody ever finds out about that. You know what? Or, ooh, I would never talk about that in public. You know, that's everybody's choice to do that in life, but I'll be honest. Some people will say, well, I heard. I'll be like, well, you heard correctly, but if you want to hear the whole story, let me just tell you how it went. And that way, they're hearing it from the source, and they know, maybe they'll know now why I'm so crazy, or why I'm so funny, or why I see the light in every day instead of the darkness, because, you know, everybody has a story, don't they? Everybody has a story. And that's my little thing at the end. I'll wait till the end, because some of y'all done heard it. But my ending is truly what I believe in, okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to get this mixed. ALE, super great epoxy. You have to stir it just a little bit longer, okay? Reason being, it's a plant-based. This product is amazing, I'm going to be honest. I'm not just buffing them up. I don't get any perks, okay? So somebody don't sit back and go, oh, she must get her stuff for free. It's not like that, guys. If it's a good product, I'll tell you. And I've used a lot of epoxies. I like this because it is plant-based. Not a strong smell at all. I've never, ever. Have you ever done like 10, 15, 20 cups in a day? I don't know if y'all do that, but every once in a while I've had to do that. And you just have a headache by the end of the day from just smelling epoxy all day. I've never had that with this, just being honest. Hey, Miss Beverly, how are you? I hope you're doing well. Watching you brings a smile to my face. Oh, I am so sorry about that, Miss Patricia. I will keep you in my thoughts and prayers, okay? I always, oh, and I didn't mean to change that. LaDonna was saying something about an ALA giveaway when she has it. But Miss Patricia, it's been rough, but it sounds like you have had a really hard time. And I don't share too much about certain things, because I do not want to offend anybody. Everybody has their beliefs, so I don't try and push it off on anybody. But I do believe in prayer. I do have a higher power. And I do not, like I said, I don't push that on anybody, but I will be thinking about you and praying for you and your family. Okay? So we're going to stir this just a little slower. When you're stirring this epoxy, and I am random, and I apologize. Hey, Miss Erica, but I do mean what I say. Okay? This you can see as you start to stir it, you can see the two epoxies trying to mix together, okay? So it's a little bit of a slow process. Now, let me tell you about ALE. Not only is it plant-based, truly, like everybody has a thing. I smell peanut butter. I'll be honest, every time I mix it, I smell peanut butter. Don't know why. Just do. Not very strong. Works great. The Shine. Do I have a cup anywhere nearby? Now this one's been sitting in a box. Oh, I can't show you that because it's been sitting in a box. The shine on this is amazing, okay? You can look at some of LaDonna's cups. She uses ALE all the time. And you can see the shine on these, okay? It mixes super easy. You're not struggling. You know, some epoxies are super thick when you're mixing them. This just mixes really, really nice. I usually mix. I am still mixing semi-fast. Somebody's going to say she's still mixing it too fast. They don't say to mix it fast. But I am using glitter. Okay, keep that in mind. I am covering it. The big bubbles, of course, definitely matter. You want to make sure they're popped. The little bubbles matter. Please don't think I'm saying don't worry about your bubbles. But under the glitter, it's not going to show as much. Okay, so don't stress yourself out of it. Okay, Jessica, have a picture of a cup I literally just did today that I can post. Yeah, do that. Everybody, Jessica's going to post a picture of a cup she did, and she used ALE, and you can see the shine. They actually used to be called ALEshine.com, was how they sold. But they actually, and LaDonna, if you're still around, or somebody, are they under... I used to order under a different... I want to say their site has changed. Somebody help me out with that, because I actually need to reorder tonight myself. I missed you too, Erica. So listen, guys, you have a lot more working time with ALE, okay? I'm not saying that Fast Set is a bad product at all. Because if you're in a pinch and you need to get a cup done in a day or two, you can do that. But you still don't give it to the customer for however many days it says till it's cured. Those of you who are new, I'll talk about that in a second. Those of you who've been doing this a while, you know exactly what I'm talking about, okay? And I'm going to give you a prime example. So, I have this super sweet lady who makes Afghans. And she wanted me to make her a cup. And I said, I will make you a cup. And she made me a little mini, like, throw thing, local. I made her a cup, and made her a cup actually in about 3 days, which was good considering the orders I already had, okay? There it is. Jessica posted it. It's www.aleshine.com. Thank you, Jessica. Again, I appreciate it. So she was like, you don't have my cup done yet? I said, no, ma'am. It's done, but it has to sit for a few days. Well, if it's done and it's not sticky, I'll just come get it. And I said, it's not sticky, but the particular epoxy I use is a 72-hour cure time. Now, dry time and cure time are two different things, okay? So, I just want, do I post it on the live? Jessica, if it'll come through, you can. If it won't, you can put it up and just say, this is the ALE epoxy that they were talking about in the live, and you can add her link. I don't think that'll be a problem. I don't think LaDonna would mind at all, okay? All right, so let me tell you about this. So dry time means I've just done this cup, and it's kind of dry, okay? Does that mean I put it in a box with bubble wrap and ship it to somebody? No. If this particular epoxy says it is a 24-hour cure time, great. In 24 hours, you can wrap it up. You can ship it. If it's a 72-hour cure time, you better wait the 3 days before you wrap it in bubble wrap and ship it. Now, is this cured? This is my everyday little bum around cup, okay? Yes, this is cured. I'm not worried about this at all. It's been 2 years. I'm not saying you got to wait 2 years, please, everybody. Don't ship something if it's not cured, if you're new at this, okay? I don't know if you're doing orders that you're shipping yet, or some of you may be. I had the hardest time explaining it to somebody who does not do cups, that I could not give it to her for 72 hours. And I was just protecting her. If she left it in a hot car and it's cured for 36 hours, and she forgot it while she went in the grocery store, and she comes out, it's going to have a dent where it sat in the side of the cup holder, just because it got warm and it wasn't cured. Okay, so just keep that in mind if you're new. All right, guys, same thing with this. I can get by with 5 mLs. Am I going to use a little more? We're going to do a little experiment, okay? So I'm going to leave in one patch at the top where I'm going to use that super fine, really pretty Girl Power glitter. So you can see, hopefully, what it looks like when it's wet versus your glitter looks like it should. Meaning you either need more glitter or you should have used less epoxy. Okay? So let's get going. We're just going to put some of this on there. Okay? If anybody has any questions, y'all just shoot me a message. I know LaDonna's still on here. She's probably like me, and she may have to check on the kiddos every now and then. But y'all can send a message. There's enough people in here I know who have been doing cups a while that can probably answer your questions that I've dealt with personally. There's Miss Melissa. Hey, Miss Melissa. How are you, my dear? So, always love on the bottom of your cups, okay? So, we're going to rub. ALE, I told you I'd tell you a secret about ALE. What I have found with ALE epoxy, if you let it sit after you get it smoothed out, before you get your heat gun, you can use a heat gun, it's no big deal. But if you'll let it sit for a minute, you're going to watch these little micro bubbles are going to rise to the top and pop on their own. It's amazing. I still am bumfuzzled how it happens, because sometimes you can add heat to certain epoxies. You can't get the bubbles to pop for nothing. It's like it creates more, okay? Hey, my friend. Hope you're doing good, you and your family. So listen, I'm going to play with it. The more you rub this cup, I say 2.5 and 2.5. 5 total, and people are like, you're crazy. But the more you rub epoxy, it's like the thinner and warmer it gets. It's just like a ooey gooey caramel pie. It just spreads, it smooths, it water, makes your palate water. I'm just kidding, not epoxy. I'm talking about the caramel pie. But you'll see that the bubbles are gonna start coming to the top, and you'll actually witness them pop on their own. Are some left behind? Absolutely. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and tell you ain't gonna have no bubbles left, because you are. But if you just watch it, I can see them coming to the top and popping. Now, the one thing about it is, again, whether you're using glitter or not, bubbles do matter, okay? So I always take my heat gun to it. Pop the bubbles I can. Don't put, I'm always around. There you go. That's my girl. I always run a little heat over it, not to sit in one spot for too long. If you've been doing this a while and you ever got in a rush, or if you're like me and you're talking or getting the dogs off the kids and the grandbaby's crawling in the tanning bed that's beside me, and you're hollering and you're fussing, you look, you turn around, you scorched a part of your cup. Sorry, I didn't mean to snort. But you're like holding it real still, trying to fuss. So it happens. So just move it quickly. You're going to see these bubbles pop on their own. I do it for 2 reasons. One, I do it, I'm trying to see what this is right here. Oh, there's a bubble. I move it around a lot, because I'm also not only popping bubbles, I'm looking to see if my epoxy will spread, leave me that dry spot we talked about earlier in the green cup, okay? I posted a picture and added the website in the post. Thank you, Miss Jessica. I appreciate you. That way people can get a good look at this cup. This cup will not be ready until probably tomorrow morning to put another coat on, because again, I'll have to make sure all my chunky glitter's kind of down. I'm gonna I do a little, I call it tinkering and playing before I add my next coat of epoxy, okay? So I'm just kind of eyeballing my stuff, making sure it looks good. I about got carried away because I about forgot to put my paper down. So I'm going to put that there and move my paper over. I do have to get some of that off. So we're going to put it underneath so we can catch this pretty glitter. You do not want to not catch your glitter like I did when I first started, okay? Now I still have a ton of epoxy left. You can't hardly see it. This is a little lighter. Still a ton of epoxy. I didn't mix quite as much, okay? I like to start at the top and then I do my chunky last so I can kind of bring it up a little bit. Everybody's a little different, okay? You do what works for you. This is Hero Glitter Girl Power. So I'll start about where my pink paint is, okay? I'm trying to look at the comments. I'm gonna mess up doing that. That's what I'm gonna do. I'll do a little above where my dark starts, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I want to make my ring around where I know I kind of want to stop, where I can still bring my chunky up over top and still have a little sticky for that chunky to stick to. I don't take my stick out. I don't do the tilt thing. Some people do, and they are amazing at it. I actually kind of envy people who can do that. But I tried it one time, and where my epoxy was still wet up here, and I tried to shake it. I had big chunks of spotted. It was a mess. So I just have learned how to adapt this way, whether it's because I'm left-handed or wood. I don't know. I just can't do it. I guess you learn to do it a certain way. So sometimes I do have a trimmer. So if you'll see, sometimes I'm going to throw a bunch of glitter on in one spot. So don't think, Lord have mercy, she is unorganized as she can be. It's like my hands twitch, and then I'll get more. Now remember earlier I told you if you have a color underneath using this. This is a white glitter with a little bit of sparkle to it. But it's kind of adapting to the color underneath. Oh, it's really pretty. I don't know if y'all can see that. Can y'all see that? Yes, LaDonna, that is your glitter, girl. What I'm telling you, this is the pretty stuff. Because it still has like, it's like a yellowy, a silvery, like a gold. I can't explain it. It's that shimmer, but it has picked up the color of paint underneath to turn it into like a pink sheer. Woo, girl, it's making me, I'm so excited. You know I love me some pink. So, we are going to get it on here. I'm just going over, making sure I don't have a lot of wet spots. I told you I do have a spot on here, and I'm not going to cover it completely. I actually see where I put it. So I'm going to put a little bit on here, and then we're going to leave that spot, and I'm going to point it out if y'all don't see it first. So I know where it is. I can see it, definitely. So I'm hoping y'all can. So you see I started a little above where my dark color starts. Okay? Let's see. LaDonna thinks I went out of my comfort zone and did a tumbler wrap. You go, girl. Alright, I'm going to point it out because it's making me insane. Just because I'm that person. So, all this looks pretty good. Right in here. I don't know if it shows up as well. And I don't know how to point it out any better. Let me see if I can put light on it and make it show. I don't know. Y'all have to tell me. Starts right here and ends about right here. Looks like a big shiny wet spot. If anybody can see that, let me know. It might be that I have to cut the big light off, but then I'll leave you in the dark. But I know there's not enough glitter there. The reason I know is it looks wet. And I could also do a test. Let it come back around. You see nothing's on the finger. It starts right here. Wet. And it's, I don't know if you can see, it is wet. Like real wet. So I'm going to cover it up now that I showed y'all where it is, okay? Only because I don't want to forget because I'm talking and rambling and I forget. But it starts right there. And I'm just going to cover that up. If it looks wet to you or super, super slick or super shiny, that needs more glitter. Because I'm going to be honest with you. If you don't cover it now and you don't cover it again and you go to put your top layer of epoxy on, that shiny spot is going to be there. Now, I have seen people cover it with a sticker or cover it with a water slide or something. Yeah, can you get away with it? Yes. But if you're like me, it'll make me insane knowing it's under there. So I have to fix it. So just know, if you see it wet now, it's going to be wet later. It's not going to dry. You have to put more stuff on it, okay? All right. That's right. You always got to be creative. I tell people, I am amazed at people that try some of these things. I'm like, I don't know if I got the guts for it. I just don't know if I can do it. But I have played almost, you see what I did? I about lost all this glitter because I was talking. But sometimes you'll see me. I tried one time. It's the ugliest cup I have ever seen, and I did it on the live. Swear to goodness. I did a glitter. I don't even know what I was doing. It was like a glitter swirl on the bottom with a mica swirl on top. And I thought, I just want to do it. I want to see if you can do it. And it was ugly. But I learned a lot from it. I learned how, if I was going to do it and I wanted to spend more time with it, how I truly would do it. Somebody just said, switch your paper. You're right, Karen. You saw me, didn't you? I was getting ready to pour it on there, honey. I'm going to be wearing glitter to bed tonight. I got it everywhere. But y'all, it really was. I was embarrassed. When I got off the live, I told my husband, I said, I'm kind of embarrassed. He said, why? You tried it. I said, I did. I always wanted to do it. Did it turn out great? Nope. Matter of fact, I think it's still in a script box over here. Yeah, it's over there somewhere. But you're not going to learn unless you try. I'm loving this glitter. Thank you, Karen, for telling me, because I about did it. I just about did. Y'all, this is called jean. Like blue jeans with no S. Okay? This is like a purple, pink, fuchsia. I don't even know, but it's pretty. So I'm going to start at the bottom. Okay? And that's just because I want to work my way up to the top. I'm going to pull this down a little to catch. Now, is this truly the pink that's under it? No. Will it work? Absolutely. Is it going to change really the shade of this glitter? Not very much. It's usually just when you use something like a white or an opal color. But I figured I would at least do it dark in case there were some spots that didn't get covered on the first go round. It would at least blend a little bit that I would be able to see and I could fix, but it would also still look nice. Okay. I'm going to work my way up to the top, and then I'm going to show you kind of what I do. And again, with this, great coverage. It's a premium glitter, okay? But you will see at the bottom, again, you're going to see some spots that may look wet, especially where you have this. So you can see the chunky there and the super, super fine. So where that super fine glitter is, it does appear to be wet looking, so you may want to hit that again, okay? But I'm just kind of going up because it'll hold more. And of course, after we get to a good stopping point, I'm going to pat this down so I know it has good coverage, because this will look sticky if you don't pat it down real good. All right, so we're going to go up. Now remember, I left some wet up here, so that way we can kind of blend it in a little bit better. You're going to see it roll off. Do not freak out on me, people, because I've gone up too high and I got dots way up here. So I'm kind of going midline. I'm shaking it like I told y'all I got a trimmer. You're going to see it go crazy. But when it comes back around, you're going to see what I'm talking about. Everywhere I shook it super high, and then I'll show you something else. I'm going to come down. It still looks a little bit crazy because it's got a lot of the super fine is sticking. But I'm going to show you a little something. Let me get it all the way around. Okay. Now, you can do it either way. Some people add just a tad more of their white, or it's how comfortable you feel. If you don't feel comfortable, don't do it. You can lightly, I say lightly, just brush off some of that dark, okay? It's not brushing off the other because it was a good coat, and remember, it kind of spun. So I'm just lightly brushing, okay? See how it looks really, really purple because I have none of the chunky up here. So I'm going to apply a little pressure to get some of this chunky to stick right at the line. I'm not trying to get it to go up high, so I'm not tapping it up high. I just want to get some more of the dots, okay? There we go. And then I'm going to go back and probably hit just a little bit of white up here just to... Some people like it, and you may like that, and it's okay. That's going to fall, so you don't have to worry about that. So I'm going to go down and just make sure all this is sticking a little better. It's actually really dry. It looks a little wet, but it's not. So we're good here. I'm just checking it. And again, y'all know how I kind of roll. I usually check my finger just to see if I have anything that seems really wet. But I'm also pressing down my chunky. Really like that up top. That is so pretty. And remember, I still have to do the bottom of my cup. I have not loved on the bottom of my cup yet. Okay. Now, so you can kind of see, Karen says, I'm going to slide my paper, see if I lost anybody because I was spending a lot of time looking at my cup. All right, so we're still good. I'm going to clean this up a little bit. And I think I'm going to go back and add just a little bit. I got a couple little dots up here that I could knock off. See, I'm just going to go around real light. I'm not hitting it hard, okay? And if I still don't like the way it looks, see how I knocked off the dots that were just way misplaced? I'm going to clean this up. And I may go back and hit it a little bit more with that light. I don't think much is going to stick. Not because the epoxy is dry, or not because it won't take anymore, but to see if I can get it to blend a little better, okay? Let's see. Anybody saying anything? I don't see anything. It's getting late. I know. My dogs are super quiet, and I have no idea what time it is, so I have a feeling maybe everybody's falling asleep. I'm going to see if I can get any of this to blend a little better. If it doesn't look right, all I can do is brush it off. Just going to see if I can kind of tone down that little bit of line right there. And if it doesn't look good, like I said, brush it off, guys. It's high or miss. Sometimes you get a little bit too little epoxy and it won't take everything. I'm shaking a good bit, but you have to understand a lot of it's falling off. So I'm going to see what it does and see how I like it. And if I don't, then I just touch it up. So, not sure if that even helped. Just being honest. Just being honest. Alright, so I'm going to hit the bottom, and then we'll be done with this. Now, you got to remember, you're still going to add a lot of stuff to this. If your line, I'm going to be honest, I don't like my line. It doesn't look real ombre-ish because I didn't leave enough wet at the top. I'll admit my flaw. So, if I don't like it, I can do two things to fix this. I can do a Somebody help me out. Washi tape, or I can make my own strips on the Cricut. Either way, I can make that be what I want if I don't like the way that looks. Am I excited? The colors, absolutely. The line, I'm not. But that's, you know, that is what it is. I'm wasting a lot here because I just realized what time it is. And I have had you on here a really long time. Okay. That's all I do to that. But just know that this goes right back in my bottle I closed up. Now, all this stuff is available anywhere online. I'm going to send y'all links to everything. I can take pictures of these. Well, you can see them around, but I will take one to attach in case people are coming back to watch this later because they didn't catch us live. Just so they can get an idea of what we did. Take pictures of the bottom so you can see how well it covered. Okay? I miss watching your craft and your awesomeness. I'm staying until the end. I love you, Karen. Look, sometimes I'll be honest with you. I am crazy about the colors. Like, I don't even know what I'm going to put on it. But, like, some of these I do. I put in a box to strip because I might not like it later. But the colors are beautiful. For this to turn out like that, knowing that was that color, and I'm hoping y'all can see that it is like a pink. Can y'all see that? Like, that is such a pretty pink. But it took the color of the paint I had up there. And that's a beautiful, and this color is beautiful. I just got to figure out what I'm going to put on it. Like one glass of wine wasn't enough, or I don't know what we'll put on it, but we'll figure out something, okay? Now listen, hey Darla, I'm glad you came too. A lot of these are super, super basic. I know some y'all, I have seen Karen's cups, so she don't even need to say because she is amazing. Y'all, there's a lot of ladies on here. I can't even go there. LaDonna, you know I'm your fan. But y'all, everybody makes beautiful cups. And please understand, if you see somebody who's super new to the group and they have posted a cup and they were like so tickled to know how their cup turned out, and you're going, I see this, I see that. Understand that constructive criticism is amazing, and if you don't feel like it's needed on the page, send them a private message. Just say, I happen to notice this. If you need any help, let me help you, or if you need any advice, I'm here for you to listen. It might not be but a 30-second answer for you to reply to help somebody who really was, but don't ruin their day. Like, you know what I'm saying? We all make mistakes. Like my hair tonight is an obvious mistake, but nobody pointed it out. So that's why I love you guys. Listen, just be nice to people. I like to end my lives like this. I'm not a pushy person. I don't try and change anybody. But if you will just see it in your heart to pay one person a compliment tomorrow when you wake up, from the time your feet hit the floor to the time your feet go to bed tomorrow, one person, a stranger, you don't even know them, tell them, I love that dress. Oh, that tie looks great on you. Love those shoes. Those little things that are very non-invasive in somebody's life can change their whole day. Okay? Sorry, I'm emotional. I am absolutely, I just love people. Some people maybe I don't like, but I'm just, if you could only understand, we never know what people are going through, and your one comment to them could either make or break them that day, okay? Love each other. I am so glad y'all have joined me. We will be back. Let's see who, we had triplets born. Triplets? Woo! Oh, I don't know if my daughter-in-law's on here. She would have probably just sent them to my house. One kind word. You are exactly right, Darla. That's all it takes, okay? I love you guys. I'm so glad I got to see you. I will list links and colors and everything that you need as soon as this live is over. If you need me, Bridget Hicks Reese, you can send me a private message through the group or through Facebook. We got them on YouTube. Just however you need to get in touch with me, okay? Oh, goats. Sorry. I thought you meant babies. Girl, I was going to say I couldn't do no triplet babies. Sorry, I misunderstood. Sorry. Love y'all. Bye. It's goats.